This is the floor plan for a dormitory, though you wouldn't be crazy mistaking it for a prison. This is Munger Hall, an extremely controversial proposed dorm at the University of California, Santa Barbara. Its design consists of 4,500 mostly windowless single-occupancy bedrooms, all packed into an 11-story building. And it was the brainchild of billionaire and wannabe architect Charlie Munger, who was to partially bankroll the construction on the condition that he designed the building. The proposal would go viral and led to massive pushback. But what exactly caused such a stir? And what can the saga tell us about architecture in general? This is the story of the megadorm, Munger Hall. The University of California, Santa Barbara faces a massive housing shortage, not just on campus, but throughout the surrounding community. Enter Charlie Munger, the now deceased billionaire and philanthropist, who with partner Warren Buffett ran Berkshire Hathaway, a $650 billion company. In 2016, Munger announced a $200 million gift to UCSB to construct a new dorm building, but also, as a hobbyist architect, he wanted to design it. He spoke of a cutting-edge facility that could deliver world-class student accommodations at a significantly lower cost. And in order to achieve this, he would push for a design that maximized density and leveraged economies of scale. Now, of course, Munger wasn't drawing floor plans himself, but rather leading the conceptual design and enlisting architecture firm VTBS to work out the finer details of his vision. In 2021, detailed design drawings were unveiled for Munger Hall. The 11-story building featured 4,500 individual bedrooms, which were Spartan. They had just enough room for a single bed and a desk. Most notably, the bedrooms had no windows. 8 bedrooms would be organized into suites, also windowless, which included 2 bathrooms and a communal area with a kitchenette. 8 suites would then comprise a house, which included a so-called great room, larger kitchens, and laundry facilities, and each floor would be comprised of 8 houses, which means that one level of the building could house an astonishing 512 students. 8 of the 11 floors would include residents, while the ground floor and the top 2 floors would be occupied by common amenities, including a courtyard, market, restaurants and cafes, gyms, a theater, lounges, and reportedly, even a Costco. Through this design, Munger Hall achieved an extraordinary level of density and efficiency. And it achieved this primarily by keeping the bedrooms windowless. To be fair, 6% of the bedrooms did have windows, leaving a staggering 94% without them. This design decision runs contrary to virtually all residential buildings in the US. In traditional construction, a room's access to an outside wall is a limiting and even defining factor on the size and layout of a floor plate. So by the elimination of windows, Munger freed up the floor plate, and therefore could repeat his 8-room module multiple times over, maximizing the amount of usable space while maintaining a simple rectangular building form, minimizing expensive elements like the exterior envelope and roof. But at what cost? Each bedroom in Munger Hall would include a so-called virtual window, an artificial lighting unit capable of simulating the circadian cycles of the sun. Munger cited an unlikely source of inspiration for this feature, saying, quote, "So we just copied what Disney Cruises did. The way Disney does it, the window is really a television set." Munger Hall takes another cue from naval architecture. Like cruise ships or aircraft carriers, where square footage is at a premium, the design minimizes individual sleeping quarters in the name of efficiency. Munger himself called it our version of ship architecture on land. Munger Hall's design choices stirred instant controversy, becoming viral on social media and igniting debate around the country. Architect Dennis McFadden, who served on the university's design review board, even resigned in protest. And in an open letter, he called the project, quote, "unsupportable from my perspective as an architect, a parent, and a human being." Going on to say, that the building is a social and psychological experiment with an unknown impact on the lives and personal development of the undergraduates the university serves. The debate raged between balancing the need to address the housing shortage rapidly versus the idea of a universal right to a certain standard of housing quality. Comparisons were drawn between Munger Hall and the tenement buildings in 1800s New York, where impoverished families crowded into cramped rooms with limited fresh air and natural light, in buildings that were prone to collapse and fire. Today, most building codes require that natural light and ventilation be provided to all habitable spaces. However, as the university serves as its own jurisdiction, they have the power to interpret and enforce building code however they choose. Regardless of code requirements, natural light and ventilation have been a basic component of architecture throughout history, and connection to the outside world through our buildings has been proven to provide psychological and physical benefits. There are countless examples of ultra-high-density housing around the world that still provide windows to residents. This is accomplished via long and narrow, or tall and skinny forms, or even via courtyards. Architect Le Corbusier's Unité de Habitation was a groundbreaking project that sought an inexpensive way to house many people. Its long and rectangular form provided each unit with ample natural light, and even outdoor terraces. Even buildings like Soviet housing blocks, which many might describe as dystopian, provide the basic feature of windows. After 2 years of public debate, in August 2023, plans for the megadorm were quietly shelved. The university later confirmed in a statement that they would be moving forward with a, quote, separate student housing project. And finally, Charlie Munger died at the age of 98 in November 2023. In the end, Munger's vision was never to be, and perhaps that's for the best. In an era where it seems that the drive for cost savings is making everything just a little bit worse, Munger Hall may have represented a tipping point that inspired people to say definitively, this has gone too far. In the never-ending quest for optimization, cost savings, and efficiency, perhaps there are some basic human needs that cannot be sacrificed. And so, for now at least, we'll never know the real-world results of the bizarre social, psychological, and architectural experiment called Munger Hall.